Welcome back to the 9th Gym program, and today we are continuing the Crown Tundra DLC 2 guides with Kartana. This is personally one of my favorite Ultra Beasts that we have access to just because of its sheer strength in attack and not very great HP and special defense stats, but great defense stats. So with Dynamax and Assault Vest and in the correct investments, this Pokemon can tank some attacks. Hopefully not fire, hopefully you don't run into fire-type Pokemon because fire-type attacks are just kills it still. But, yeah, it can just, tank other attacks, especially physical attacks that are, immune, obviously, and then fighting even, and then resisted strikes as well. So you can live a lot of attacks, which is really good with this Pokemon. And, it's a very safe physical, switch into any of the resisted physical type attacks, which there are a lot of resistances since this Pokemon is grass steel typing. It has 9 resistances, 1 immunity, and then 1 weakness and 1 quad weakness. So, a pretty solid typing overall, which is not bad. Beast Boost on this Pokemon is usually going to be Moxie. I think there's ways to invest to not do it that way, but you have to do minus attack, and it's weird and bad, and you shouldn't do it. It's just Moxie. But yeah, Kartana has Moxie, which is pretty insane because this Pokemon, we have a lot of Pokemon that don't have Moxie that have Moxie. Glastrier has Moxie and Kartana has Moxie. It's really weird. But know that essentially when you knock out a Pokemon, you get a +1 into your attack stat, which is pretty crazy with this Pokemon because it already has an insane attack stat. So a lot of the damage calcs and damage that this does, you're it's not that great without investment. But then when you take a knockout, it's really good because you have 1.5 times attack on top of your already insane base attack stat. So it works out really well. As far as the stats go on this Pokemon, well, the attack stat is insane, like I've said multiple times. 181 base attack is absurd. And also speed at 109 is very, very fast. It's on the same speed tier as Greatly Fast Pokemon. Is that a word? Greatly Fast? Or a correct adjective. Anyway, it's on the same speed tier as very fast Pokemon, commonly known fast Pokemon, Alolan Ninetales, and Durant, which is a very good speed tier to be at. You can outspeed a lot of really fast Pokemon with a little bit different investment, not just max into speed, like our build today, but yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more later on speed tiers and stuff. But yeah, physical defense is great. 131 is great for defense, and then special D is terrible, and HP is not very good. But like I said, Assault Vest and investment and Dynamax can make this thing actually not terrible at special defense. So it's not bad. Anyway, that is about it for the overview. Let's go ahead and talk about the builds that I have prepared. So I made 2 builds today. One is going to be the more normalized Assault Vest build, and then the secondary one is the less used but still very powerful in this format, Focus Sash. Now, the main reason why I think Assault Vest is so much more powerful right now is because we don't have access to Tailwind anymore, which was a big reason to not use Assault Vest. Now I think Assault Vest is probably the optimal way, especially with Dynamax as well, being able to help its natural bulk a little bit with that. Anyway, let's talk about it. So Assault Vest for Kartana with Beast Boost. You can't change Beast Boost. You can change Assault Vest, but that's what we're running today. Level 50, whatever. EVs, 68 HP, 252 special defense, and 188 speed with a Jelly Nature, giving you plus speed and minus special attack. Now, 188 speed plus nature gives you 168 speed, which is enough to outspeed all the base 100 speed Pokemon, things like Entei, Zapdos Galar, Charizard. There's a lot of really good Pokemon at that speed tier that Kartana can then outspeed. You can obviously put a little bit more into speed. We'll talk about this a little bit more at the speed stat tier, but still, I think this is a good spread for it. And then I put the rest into, 252 into Special D, and then the rest into HP, just to be bulkier, and, make the AV really worth it, which is pretty good. As far as the attacks go, I went with Smart Strike and Leaf Blade, Dual Stab, and then Sacred Sword and Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace giving us Max Airstream, which is very good, and Sacred Sword giving us Max Knuckle, which is very good. If you can take a knockout with Max Knuckle and then go +1 on Beast Boost because of that, because of Beast Boost, you go +2 in attack on Kartana and +1 on your partner Pokemon. So, you can do a lot of damage with this and then really supplement your damage really well with that as well. And supplement speed with Aerial Ace. So, it's a really good move pool. As far as other options go, you could go with Night Slash or Brick Break. Brick Break for utility, and Night Slash just another option, especially with coverage as Dark. which is pretty cool. But I really like this set. I think this is really good, and it's what I've been using for a lot of stuff. Really, all my teams that I use Kartana, I've been using this build, so it's good. Anyway, the second build we have here is Kartana at Focus Sash. This is just, so that you can use just max attack and max speed, because it's going to get two-shotted from just about everything. Like another reason I like Kartana without Focus Sash so much is because in a very physical format, which we are in, Kartana can be a really safe switch in on physical attacks, but with Focus Sash, you lose your Sash, and then it feels bad. So, yeah, that's a big reason why Assault Vest is so much better, or, like, usually better, in my opinion. But you also have other options as well. Life Orb, Weakness Policy. Didn't mean to see Weakness Policy. I guess you could, but no, you should not. Wiki Berry, like a Pinch Berry. I've seen Kartana. Like, that's a thing. Not really a thing, but it is a thing with Scope Lens. So there's a lot of cool options. Anyway, this second build, I went with Dual Stab, Leaf Blade, and Sacred Sword, and then Swords Dance and Detect. Pretty standard build. I mean, you can change up some stuff, but I probably wouldn't. Maybe change Smart Strike or Sacred Sword. My bad. I meant to say Sacred Sword instead of Smart Strike. I just think that move's really good. So going for that instead. But what you could do is if you need the coverage, you can switch Sacred Sword out for Dual Stab and put on Smart Strike or something like that. Just a couple of options. Anyway, that is about it for the two builds that I have prepared. They're pretty basic, I think. Like the Assault Vest, we explained why I still think it's a pretty basic Assault Vest build. Anyway, the one synergetic Pokemon here that I have is Tapu Fini. I just think this Pokemon works really well with it, being able to stop it from getting burned with Misty Terrain, as well as, the other things, Sleep, Paralyze, all of those things. You don't want to get statused, which is good. For this Pokemon. Really, any physical, like, good physical Pokemon that sweeps or Dynamaxes could partner with Tapu Fini just so it doesn't get burned in a format that's very physical. A lot of people are running Will-O-Wisp on their team somewhere, so it's a good idea to have. Anyway, yeah, it's good stuff. I like this Pokemon. I like these builds. It's good. Let's move on. Let's talk about some speed tiers. So, like I said, I have the speed tier at 168 to outspeed those base 100 Pokemon like Charizard, Zapdos Galar, Zapdos Regular, Zapdos Cantonian, Salamence, Regigigas, Entei. There's a lot of Pokemon on that 100 base speed. Volcarona, a lot of Pokemon there that Kartana can then outspeed guaranteed, which is very good. Outspeeding other Pokemon as well, as collateral, hitting things like Lando T, Excadrill, Duraludon, Tapu Fini, a bunch of these 150 and below Pokemon, Togekiss, a lot of good guys there. Kartana outspeeds, which is good. Now, with this exact spread, you will be outsped by the 169 and above Pokemon, like Garchomp, Nihilego, Terrakion, opposing Kartanas that are Focus Sashed, Ninetales, Alola, all those 170 to 190 to 200 Pokemon, Tapu Koko, Dragapult, all these guys, Cinderace. You are getting outsped by a lot of really good Pokemon, but I still think this spread is very good for it, so yeah. But you can invest more into speed if you want to outspeed those Pokemon. Anyway, that is about it for speed tiers. Let's talk about some damage calcs. So, damage calcs, these are all without investment. This is just base Kartana. They are Dynamax calcs because this is going to be a pretty common Dynamax on your team. If with this build, this is going to be the Assault Vest 0 attack build. With attack, you're going to do more damage, obviously, but yeah, it's still like really good, and I wanted to show off how good of the damage it is. So, max Overgrowth into a Tapu Fini. This is currently the most used spread on Pikalytics with 236 HP and 4 defense. We are hitting an Oko guaranteed 124 to 147.4%. We are outspeeding it. We are able to take it out. Calm Mind can't protect it because it's a physical attacker. Looking pretty good there. Guaranteed Oko on Tapu Fini, which currently is the most used Pokemon on Pikalytics, according to Pikalytics. Good stuff. Next, we have Max Steel Spike from our Kartana into a Glastrier of 252 HP, 0 defense, hitting 87 to 104%, which is an 18.8% chance to Oko. Now, this is undynamaxed, non-dynamaxed, of course, but a lot of the time, Glastrier may have to switch to get, good positioning on Trick Room, and you can hit it with a Steel Spike if you think you're going to be able to catch that switch, and then they're going to not want to Dynamax their Glastrier anymore, and then they lose their biggest sweeper of the team, most likely. So, I like that matchup. Obviously the thing does a lot of damage to you as well, but still, you do a lot of damage raw, which is good. Anyway, next we have Max Airstream from Kartana into a 252 HP, 0 defense Rillaboom. This is currently the most used on Pikalytics, blah, blah, blah. And we are hitting 73 to 86%, which is guaranteed 2-hit KO after grassy terrain recovery, which is pretty good. It's a lot of damage. You get a speed boost. Rillaboom doesn't put on too much of a threat. Even if it has superpower, it's still not knocking you out, especially Dynamax, so looking pretty good there. Next, we have Kartana Max Airstream into a defense. A pretty defensive Amoonguss is currently the most used spread on Pikalytics. Can you believe that? 252 HP, 156 plus defense on Amoonguss, hitting 62.4 to 74.2%, which is guaranteed 2-hit KO pretty easily. Now, if they have Cobra Berry, that will knock it down to like a 30 to 40% about. But then you still will most likely get a guaranteed 2-hit KO. I said most likely and then guaranteed. I should say you just then have a chance to 2-hit KO through that. But, you get some consistent damage as well, which is good. And, you use other Pokemon to do a little bit of damage, which is good. Kartana can't be spored, so it has a really positive matchup against Amoonguss anyway. So, yeah, that's just a very good matchup for Kartana. Anyway, next we have 2 defensive calcs. These are kind of unfortunate as they are the fire calcs. I just wanted to show these off. Because, yeah, you don't want to be up against a Fire-type Pokemon. Anyway, against a Heatran with Heat Wave, with max investment, this is usually how Heatrans ran. Into our 68 HP, 252 special defense, Dynamaxed Assault Vest Kartana. That's a lot of investment and a lot of defense, but it's still doing 92.3 to 109% damage. 50% chance to OHKO without maxing, without choice specs, without life orb, without anything like that. Heatran is a problem. Heatran is definitely a big threat to this Pokemon. Don't run this Pokemon up into a Heatran. It's very dangerous. And then last but not least, we have Incineroar Flare Blitz into a 68 HP, 0 defense Kartana, Dynamaxed Kartana, hitting 85.3 to 102, which is an 18.8% chance to OHKO, about the same as hitting your Steel Spike into a Glastrier, and it's a roll. It does have a chance to OHKO, but it is a very low roll, 18.8. It's still not something I would want to be up against, and also Incineroar, intimidates. Incineroar is a bad matchup, but it's okay. It's a playable matchup. It's bad, but you can win it. I believe in you. Anyway, that is it for damage calcs. Let's talk about Single Spotlight real quick before I end this video. So in Single Spotlight, this Pokemon is definitely really powerful, being very strong and very fast. Gave it max speed, max attack, Jolly Nature, just so it can be as fast as possible. I ran Choice Band with it just so it can do as much damage as possible. Leaf Blade, Smart Strike for dual stab, Sacred Sword, and Aerial Ace to hit those pesky fighting type Pokemons that give it a hard time. I like this Pokemon in Single Spotlight, but not as much as in VGC. I think this Pokemon is unbelievably strong in VGC, and definitely a top 10 Pokemon currently, and will be the whole format, I think. Anyway, that is about it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe. It means a lot to me. Go down to the links down below. Watch me live on Twitch. Join the Patreon. Join the Twitter. Join the Discord. Do all of those things. It makes my day a little brighter seeing your face on a different platform as well as this platform. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a good weekend and have a great week. Goodbye.